Hey everybody, Tommy G here, and we're going to be doing a flight today. But I wanted to give you tell you a little bit about what we're going to do first of all. So if you want to just see the flying, fast forward another 5 minutes or so, because it's going to be a flight in VR, and I have to explain a couple things. So first of all, what's the premise? A little backstory. I always like a backstory, right? So took the plane from Goodyear, took a 172 from Goodyear up to Prescott. I'm saying I had an old dispatcher from my garage in Flagstaff who now is in Prescott came down to get me. We came up, and that was a guy who was doing the radios while we're up there. So we are now I'm going to be flying back because got a buddy back in Phoenix doing B-Wolves games back there for the state police, and they had a aircraft up here that got painted, got the paint scheme, highway patrol. They need it down in Phoenix, so I'm going to fly it from Prescott back down to Phoenix, and that's what we're going to fly this today, November 316, Hotel Papa. So the flight is going to be, we're starting at Prescott, Arizona, which is right here. We're going to start cold and dark at position number 1. We're going to taxi on out and take off at runway 21 right. The flight plan has us climbing to 6,000 feet, but we're going to change that actually. So if we go to here, I'm going to bump that to, that's going to go 7,000. I know on the way in we were at 7,900, and that was plenty good. I mean, we were at about the tops of these mountains out here when we came out. I think 7,000 going back should be fine, but we can always go higher. We got VFR conditions, so since this doesn't do IFR, this one, we're going to do VFR. And we're going to be flying down 7,000. It's not a long flight. I forget how many nautical miles. 75 nautical miles to KGYR, Goodyear. There's no real. I mean, I could go from to any of these nav aids, but since it's VFR flying, I think I'm just going to go direct for simplicity's sake. We're going to do the top of descent out here just past Sunrise, Arizona, and that's going to bring us in between Luke and Glendale. And at F21, we're going to start a descent there at F21. We should be at like about 2,000 feet. And just over 210 knots, so less than 210 knots. And we're going to come in runway 21 at Phoenix, and then they're going to park us, land us out over here. So that's the plan there. I will just say real quick, because now this is a VR flight. There's a couple new things. One, the way, and I'll just explain this again. You fast forward if you don't want to hear it. The way that we'll look at the plane road to this. The way that this works is the VR is a little. It's a little bumpy when you watch it, so I have to run it through a Steadicam filter when I'm done, which helps out quite a bit. But the editing software I use, Movavi, can't really take more than 15 minutes of that before it crashes out the render. So I have to have segments that are less than 15 minutes. I'm going to shoot for around 10. So you're going to be seeing that in little segments. Once I get started, I'll show you the little walk around. We'll do it in 2D, and then when I'm in the cockpit, I'm going to do the startup procedures. I'm going to try and remember what I can of the startup procedures, and then I'm going to taxi. I'll fade to taxi out, and then I'll fade to my run up, and then I'll do the takeoff and departure. I might do something in flight, and then I'll do so I'll do it in segments. And what it's going to look like is, because I also found out the editing software isn't able to run transitions very well between these, because it's doing math to sort of straighten out these frames, so it has a hard time doing like a fade or anything. So what it does do is a fade to black. So I'll do a half second fade to black up, and then half second down, half second up. So it's a full second. It will dip to black and back up, and that's how you'll be able to tell the transitions between the different shots. That's about the way this has to work, until I find out some other way to record VR that's not so shaky. And I'm still looking that up now. I saw a few things. I'll have to play with those, but until then, that's what's going to be. So let's jump out here. I will show you what this looks like if we go back again to the location and we say, what did I say for timing? Conditions, time. Yeah, 16. We're gonna go 1600, which is 4 p.m. UTC. Should be. I think we're -8 out here. Oh no, in Texas -6. So that's noon. Okay, I'm sorry. No, so we want to be. If I want to do 9 a.m., that's gonna be 3 p.m. All right. So let's go there. Oh, gosh. All right. So the wind. It's calm mostly. There's some wind directions from 222. Turbulence is moderate. Thermal activity is moderate. The clouds, we've got some high visibility, low cumulus density, and the cumulus cloud clight's about midway up. Cirrus clouds low, very high, and those are the conditions. Now, if I go back here again to the aircraft, I'm sorry, no, to the location or navigation. I could just say navigation. Oh no, I don't say navigation. I go to the aircraft, and then I say start location. Prescott, cold and dark, fly now. There's the aircraft right there. Let's see, we can go. Oops, I'm sorry. We want to look at it in some other areas. Oh, there's aircraft taking off around us. Interesting, like the aspect ratio. Doesn't it look kind of funny? Does it look funny? Um, let's see what external view do we want on this thing. Now we don't want to show Barb in there because that shows her too. So we'll go here. There we are from. Now this is the tower. I think this is the view from the tower. Okay, so we're gonna do we would do our walk around in there because it's just us. We can do our walk around, check all the flight controls and stuff like that, and then hop in and do everything else. And then we're gonna taxi on this taxi here. I will say one more thing. I got one of the things I just knew. I just got a yoke and pedals. I ordered it on eBay. I got the CH Products Flight Sim, just standard yoke and pedals. It works just fine. It's good. I got it used. Got a good price for it. Some woman out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Good place. So it just came in today. I tested it out. It works great. So this is going to be my first flight actually with yoke and pedals. So I'm kind of excited. Let's try this out now and jump inside. Hey everybody, Tommy G here. We are in the cockpit now, the 172. We're getting ready to do our pre-flight check. Stand by a second here. Okay, we got to get to I got to make sure we got everything in place. We're buckled in. The doors are closed. I tried this a couple times. I had a setting wrong where I think I needed to go. I was cold and dark, and I need to just be before engine starts. Okay, I do the pre-flight here. Fuel selector is set to both. The fuel cutoff lever is forward right there. Where are we at next? I'm looking at my list again. Master battery switch is going to be on. Our master battery switch is on. We checked that. We may as well check and see that there's a plane taking off right there. We may as well check and see that all the lights work first. Okay, they do. Beacon light, we're going to put the beacon light on. We're going to put the nav light on. We got both those things on. I remembered that. We're going to put the fuel pump on. Fuel pump there on the left. We're good there. Parking brake is set. Right? Yeah, there it's set. Mixture is full rich. Mixture full rich. Throttle at 10%. Let's go 10% about. Whoops. 10% about there. Let's see here. Going to clear the prop. Nobody around here. Clear. Prop clear. It's all good. Magneto set to start for both. Let's try this out. All right, we got it running there. Throttle for 1,000 RPM. We're about there anyway. Mixture slightly back. Fuel pump. We're going to turn the fuel pump off. Okay, fuel pump's off. Warning lights are off. They are off. Those would be the lights that were up there. Let's see. Voltage levels in the green. It is in the green. Where's our fuel? Our fuel. That's our temperature. Where's our fuel level? Oh, our fuel's up there. Okay. Voltage levels are in the green down there. All right. Avionics master switch is on. Avionics master switch on right there. Okay, avionics are on. Avionics are on. DME is on, right? I believe the DME is on, isn't it? Maybe not. Okay, let's see here. Which one's the DME? The DME is this one. Right? Well, I can get... There we go. That's on. Let's turn... Okay, let's go turn all this stuff on. Where's the... There we go. And with this one on standby. Okay, so all the avionics are on. Except for the autopilot. Okay. Anyway, alright, let's see here. The DME is on. The transponder set to standby. Is it set to standby? I can't see which is standby. I think that's standby. Right? Okay. Yeah, so that's set to standby. Altimeter is set. We are at, what are we at here? About 5,000, just over 5,000 feet at this airfield. Attitude is neutral. That's true. Heading is proper. Let's see. So we check the heading on here. We're at just over 7. Magnetic just over 7 there as well. Heading bug to runway heading. So we had to listen to the ATIS, right? So what is the ATIS here? Hold on one second. Look at okay. Here we're looking at the chart. KPRC ATIS 127.2. So now if I listen, now this is how I have this thing set. I have to think about it. My comm, is this my comm? Which one is my comm here? That's nav. So comm has got to be this one. All right. Okay. What did I say it was? ATIS is 127. Right, 127.2. Yeah. So I got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't go at. Okay, I'm just turning this knob here. 0.2. Come on, come on, come on. Working it down. We're getting there. We're getting there. When is it? 0.2. Okay, there we go. And now I can do the swap. Yeah, there we go to 702. We get the ATIS. And what is the ATIS telling us? Well, the ATIS would be telling us that the wind is from like 222, I think is what we were saying before it came in, right? So that means our takeoff landing runway, we're going to be 21 left, I think. So we got to go 21 left, right? So we want to get the heading bug, sorry, here to 21. So I'm turning that heading bug around here. There we go. Alright, that's good. Nav 1 course set to runway heading. I guess that's the heading bug set to, but Nav 1 to runway heading. I guess we're not on the nav course, so we're not worried about that. Lean to mixture to max EGT. We're going to get that in a minute. We're going to stay on this. So flight controls functional. Yeah, this is where we got to do the... This is my new yoke, people. Left and right. Back, forward. How about our rudder pedals working good? Yes, everything's free and clear. And I am getting control on the ailerons and all that stuff. Okay, very good, very nice. Controls functional. Set pitch for takeoff. I think we're set there. We already did the ATS. 1217 is what we're gonna do for the ground. So we're gonna. Oh, I almost got that a little too low. 1217. So. Come down here. 121.7 is going to be ground. We're not going to switch there yet, but we're going to have that ready. We're getting ready to go off here. Okay, 210. Okay, oops. 121.7. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the ground in there. Request. Okay, so we're going to request a taxi. So I am going to send it over, and we would say something like this: Prescott ground. This is November 316 Hotel Papa with you. Request taxi for departure runway 21 right to the south. And they would come back and say November 316 Hotel Papa, taxi clear to taxi to sorry, taxi 21 right via Charlie Juliet Alpha Alpha 5. And I would say taxi via Charlie Juliet Alpha Alpha 5 November 316 Hotel Papa. Alright, now here I'm gonna right before I taxi, I'm gonna set the tower frequency to 125.3. 125.3. Okay, there we go. So we got tower lined up there. And then we can go ahead and taxi. We're gonna do taxi for the run up. So follow us there. I'm gonna stop this segment. We're gonna taxi out over. Actually, I could release the brake and start the taxi, and then we'll stop the video there. Okay, so brake released, and go ahead and throttle up. There we go. And away we go, folks. We're going to, I will contact you when we're getting lined up, and we're going to do our run-up. Alright, here we're coming to our run-up area over here. We need to slow down and basically turn it out this way. Whoop, whoop, turn it around this way here. Because we're not quite at the runway, but we can stop it right here. I'm gonna throw it in park. Okay, let's do our run-up, people. Let's get our checklist here. Sorry, wait for a second while I bring this up. Okay, okay, checklist. We want taxi light on. Oh, we didn't put the taxi light on. Well, now we got it on. That's funny. Parking brake will. Oh no, that was the run up. Okay, throttle to taxi position. Okay, brake. Okay, brake test. We never did that. We never did the brake test. Okay, so now we're at the run up. Okay, parking brake is set. Taxi light's gonna go off because we have to. We're not taxiing right now. Okay, sorry about that. Mixture full rich. Right, I've got it in there. Throttle at 1700 RPM. Bring it up to 1700 right there. Good. Engine oil temperature and pressure look good. Oil temperature, pressure, all the things looks good. In the green, check the suction, looks good. Yep, suction in there looking good. Amperage is positive. Engine EGT set the mixture. Where's the mixture there? Yeah, that's full flow. That's as much as we're gonna get at 5,000 feet. Fuel flow is positive. Fuel level check. Fuel is good, right? We got fuel right over there, left and right. We're drawing off of both, right? Yeah, we're off of both. I don't know why there's less in the lefting. Okay, engine magneto left, max RPM drop of 150. So now we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go to left. I'm sorry, RPM drop. Yeah, 150 there. Okay, now we're gonna do the right magneto. Same thing. There we go. All right. Same thing. All right. Throttle back to 1,000. Departure. We got the run up check pretty good there. I gotta be careful how close I get to 1,000 here. We're gonna go with 11 at this out. Okay. So for the departure, all right. So now we're gonna want to set COM 1 to tower. I just gotta switch this over, right? Yeah. There we go. Over to tower. Mixture is rich. Flaps. We're going to set the flaps down. Alright, put the flaps. Flaps are right over there. It's level setting 1 because we do want flaps in the mountains here. And we'll request takeoff clearance. So we would say, yeah, we'd essentially say Prescott Tower. This is November 316 Hotel Papa, holding short runway 21 right for departure to the south. And they'd come back and say, 316 Hotel Papa, line up and wait, runway 21 right, hold for departing aircraft on 15, I think, or whatever their other runway is. We got nobody on the approach here. We can see that right now. They're gonna have us line up and wait on this runway because there are aircraft doing touch and goes on the other runway. So we're gonna line up on 21 right here. Right about here, and we're gonna need to wait for these other aircraft here. I'm gonna put the parking brake on. Okay, what else do we have on the departure here? We want to get we want to have the departure. We want to have that tuned in. I'm sorry, we would have had that tuned in already. Request takeoff clear the landing. I'm sorry, takeoff clear. Landing lights got to be on. Landing lights are on. Strobe lights on. We want to turn the strobe on. The transponder is going to be set. What do we set the transponder for? I forgot what my transponder thing was. Well, it's not 1200. It's not 1200, but I forget. It was something like, oh, I forgot how to do that thing. Let me get it down here and see if I can do it. Transponder, let's do right? We ident there. Oops. 21. Wait, no. 2147. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oops. No, that's the. Hold on. I'm just checking these things out. Okay. Oh, we never set our. Okay, so we'd be waiting here at the end of the runway. We never set our altitude or anything like that, right? We were supposed to do that. It didn't tell us to do that. Strobe lights on, transponders set, contact the tower. That was for takeoff, so we get the correct runway. So I'm sorry. We want to go to. We would have had to go to our altitude set. Oh, so we got to turn this on though. Altitude set for. What did I say? 7,000. Yeah, 7,000. We're gonna say vertical speed. We'll go 500 there. That's our climb setting. Heading. Yeah, we're set for runway heading on there. Okay, so that is set. I think we're ready to go basically. So again, here I'm sorry, we wouldn't be waiting here this long, but let's just say we're waiting because there was a bunch of traffic. Now we want to do get the correct runway. Yes, we're on the correct runway. The heading is going there. Heading is set. We're gonna V1 at it doesn't say how many knots, 50 to 60 knots, and the maintain 75 knots on runway. The flaps up, landing, taxi lights off, fuel pump off, engage the autopilot, and then we dial in Phoenix approach. So I'm gonna have Phoenix approach. I would have had that logged in here, 133575. So I'd want to go one, because are we over at tower? I never switched it over, did I? I would have. There we go. So then I would have said 133575. That's for the approach. 5, so come on. Okay, and then they would say, basically, I don't see any traffic there, so it'd say, November 316 Hotel Papa, runway 21 right, clear for takeoff. Runway 21 right, clear for takeoff, November 316 Hotel Papa. Alright, let's get this thing positioned down there. This is a little bit different for me because I'm not used to using rudder. On takeoff, I got full throttle in. Wants to pull to the left a little bit. Still no traffic there. Takes us a while to get going here to 65 knots. Rotate up. We want to keep out at 75 knots. On the climb out, looking over the cowl, we look good there. We're looking good. I want to trim this thing down because it's pulling back a little bit. I'm trimming down still. 75 climb out. We should be good there. They'd say, all right, number 316 Hotel Papa, contact Phoenix approach on 133575. I'd say over to 133575, 316 Hotel Papa. Approach over. Phoenix approach, this is November 316 Hotel Papa with you. 5,500 for 7,000. Request, or with, for Goodyear, for KGYR. They would say, 316 Hotel Papa, continue climb, maintain no navigation. Maintain no navigation, 316 Hotel Papa. Alright, now here I can put the autopilot on with the heading, the vertical speed. It's going to turn me back this way. Now is when I want to probably bring my map out, because I want to see, and we're way off there, so now is just maintain our own navigation. We can switch that heading over. Whoops. We still want to go to 7,000. I didn't mean to change the altitude. There we go, heading. I want to get us basic. I want to go straight to the left here, 120, because we need to go ahead up. I never took my flaps up. Flaps up. Here we're going on over Prescott, Arizona, which is kind of nestled in the hills. I didn't even get a chance to look around really. And there it is, there's the highway. Outbound, this is pretty darn cool. I can turn my landing lights off. My fuel pump is off. Everything else looks good. I think we're set here to go. We're climbing at 70 knots. I want to climb 75, so I'm going over. Yeah, let's see, maybe I turn my vertical speed to like 300 foot per minute. Get a little bit more speed there. Okay, so I think we're good. Let's see if I go to external here, we can see this. And then I'll check. Yeah, here's the highway patrol listed on there, and you can see the homes of Prescott, Arizona proper, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't look like Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it looks pretty darn good, and I really enjoy the sim. And check back in a moment when we are getting up to cruise altitude. Okay, so we would have just where we're at here, we're at 7,000 feet. We leveled off. But obviously these mountains are going to be a little higher than 7,000 feet, so we would have called into Phoenix Approaches. The Phoenix Approach request increase in altitude. And it was set to 9,000. It was at 9,000. Go ahead, because you can see there. Here we are. We were at our top of descent over that lake. For our map, we look pretty good there. I just have to make sure now that we're going to. I'm still full throttle. I never even pulled back off of that. But I just got to make sure we're going to make this climb out. I think we will. I changed the time on here from UTC to local time, so it's 8:48 a.m. as we're heading back towards Phoenix. There's a nice little lake out there. That'd be great to go fishing, you know, out there, wouldn't it? Everything looking good. I adjusted our EGT level there. Our mixture's pretty good. It's pretty lean. I can lean it a little bit. But I'm still on the climb out because I'm trying to get to 9,000. Now we're supposed to climb at 75 knots. We're a little faster, but we're slowing down because we're already at 7,600 feet. And I don't mind climbing even at 70, but I got to be able to climb out over this peak. Again, what I was looking at before was our map here. And with the crosswind, we're pretty much sticking to this line, which is taking us right over about the highest peak there. And then, oh, I saw something with the clouds. It's weird. We're getting up near the clouds, and we're supposed to be VFR. So I got to be careful. I got to be careful with this cloud layer. We're supposed to stay 1,000 feet away from clouds at all times in VFR flying. So I have to adjust. I have to adjust my heading and such. We're heading toward cloud there, but I think we're okay. We're climbing at 70. Let's see, I'm looking at all my thing here. You know, my landing light text, I got my lamp strobe. I don't have my pitot heat on. I don't know what the outside temperature is. I can't see it here. Alright, we're at 65 knots, climbing at 8,000. I'm gonna bring the vertical speed down to 300. So we're a little steep there. Actually, I'm gonna go to 100 foot per minute, so we can pick up some airspeed. And I don't think we're gonna need to get to 9,000. Although you never know. I mean, we're up here in the hills now. These mountains are pretty darn high. I thought these were hills, but these are proper mountains. And so you can see again, Prescott, Arizona back that way, mostly filling out that bold, beautiful area of Arizona. I've never actually been there, but I've seen pictures, and I know back a while back when me and my family were looking at other places to possibly live, Prescott was one place that we looked at, and it's just, you know, Pine Mountains looks very, very nice. Kind of green for Arizona, you know. Alright, here, let's see, I can probably go. Hold on a second here. Yeah, I can. My vertical speed? Probably go 300 foot per minute. Because we're a little over 80 knots. After we get to 9,000 feet, I mean, I'll clear that range and then we can start coming down because it's pretty much a downhill slope all the way down into Phoenix. I'm excited to get back to Phoenix because it's going to be starting the baseball season, people. May, let's see, 20th. May 20th is going to be game 1 in starting in Phoenix here, which is why we're going to be in Phoenix. So Pete and I are going to be calling a game against the Arizona B-Wolves, the team we called games for so many years. Let me see here. We got some houses up here in the mountains. This is kind of neat, right? Yeah, for so many years we were calling games out there in Phoenix, so it's nice to be getting back there. It'll be good to play at Red Rock Park, so come back for that one, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I guess I'm back inside. When I get to 9,000, we'll level off, and I'll check in again before we do our approach. All right, folks? Stand by then. All right, everybody, here we are. We're flying over the mountains. If I jump back inside here, oh, that's back outside. Sorry, back inside. Just to see where you are on the map. You can see we're just, I can't really figure out how to zoom the map out. I'm supposed to, sorry about that. I'm supposed to be able to pinch it or something to get it bigger or smaller. It doesn't seem to work. Anyway, interesting thing, you can see out here traffic when traffic goes by. And I didn't notice that there was another aircraft coming up, and I looked in close and it says 9,000 feet, and it came by and just went right past the other way. I mean, we were separated pretty well, but as you can see, the elevation is dipping way down into the bowl around where you're going to find Phoenix is going to be out that way. I don't know if I got them tuned in on the DME or not. I got something that's 32.2 miles away, and we were 70-something miles to begin with, but I was, at this point I would call about, say, what is it, Phoenix approach. This is November 316 Hotel Papa with your request altitude reduction to, or request decrease altitude to 7,000. And they'd probably come in and say, 316 Hotel Papa, descend to 7,000, continue on navigation. I would say, free to descend to 7,000, 316 Hotel Papa. And I gotta go back to the vertical speed, come down. Vertical speed, sorry, hold on. Down like 500 feet per minute, maybe 7. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick up some airspeed here. I'm not worried about going too fast. Let's see where we're on the map. We're making a good line. Because, I mean, as long as I'm in the green arc, I'm fine. I was going about 90, 95 knots, so if I can go as fast as 120 without causing a problem. So I'm really not going to trim it back at all. Like, I love the leather on these seats, right? This is nice. And these little glass panels over here, you can see up now. Again, there's traffic in this game. It's built in. There's no, there's no ATC or anything like that. But up here you can see one right here. I'm trying to see if I can zoom in to see. Looks like it's yellow, so it's Jello Aviation. I think he's 13,000 feet. He's moving quick, so he's going to be. There he is. I don't know if you can see him right there. Heading off that way. So all of the aircraft that they have in this is, he must be a jet. They've got aircraft flying routes from city to city. They've got aircraft doing touch and goes at all the different airports. So there's traffic out there, and you have to contend with them. But you don't have to, hold on. Change my heading just slightly to make sure I'm not a little too far east here. I want to follow this track down in. To make sure that you're getting you're on them plenty good. I don't know what this reservoir is here. This isn't Lake Powell. Is it? No, it can't be. No, because that's the Grand Canyon's way back that way. As you can see, like Sedona would be back that way. This is the highway that comes down from Flagstaff on over to Phoenix. Goes around this way, but this is obviously another reservoir. And I don't know what this is off into the Phoenix area, but maybe one of you does. Coming down over the hills, let's see here. I'm also going to be looking on this, yeah, you can see it right here. I'm going to be looking at this map for the thing that says TOD, which will be our top of descent. Once I get to that point, I should be at 7,000. I'm going to start descending, I think 1,000 foot per minute, until I get back into level where I'm supposed to be for that. Yeah, here comes another aircraft.
they're going close enough. 12,000 feet, 252 knots. So that's obviously a jet liner, and it's coming right towards us. So we should see it. And then after that, I'll switch off this. But yeah, so you want to keep the traffic on here. It's a lot like ForeFlight. If I follow his path, he's going to probably go right in front of us. I want to make sure our airspeed looks like we're leveling off. But I'm looking to see if I can see him. He's going to be 2,000 feet higher. He's closing in. He should be visible. 12,000 feet. Where is he? Air traffic control has us separated. Why do I not see him? Now, I don't have the best VR goggles in the world. I'm hoping to get a new pair. He's right 2,000 feet above me. Still looking. He's back there now. He already passed us. Here's another one. So there must be a flight path. Because if I gotta go kind of close. 737-900. He's 11,000 feet climbing. He's coming off this lake, and he should be coming up around this way too. We should be able to see these guys. 11,000 feet. He's up there. Okay, I saw him just under the wing. All right. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste too much more time on that. As we get closer, I'll check in with you again, and we'll pick you up on the descent. Northern part of Phoenix coming up here. We would be tiling at this point. We want to call on the ATIS at the airport, which is what do we got here? 11835. I've got them on COM 2 already pressed, so I would listen to COM 2, and it basically would tell us which one we're coming in at. We know which one we're coming in at. It's 2-1, I think. Altitude is set. We're good there. Vertical speed is going to be 1,000. We're going to maintain 90 to 110 knots. And mixture rich of the descent. We're almost at top of descent right here. So I'm going to go to my altitude setting and change the altitude to, well, I think it's like 1,000 feet. So I think I come down to 2,000 feet. So I think it's about 1,000 foot over. I'm sorry, over the about 1,000 over sea level. So I think 2,000. I'm pretty sure. I'm not certain. Vertical speed, we're going to put that on at the top of the descent here. We're also going to slow down because we want to go, what did I say, 110 knots at the most. So vertical speed. We're going to make we would contact approach now, but we're already on Phoenix approach. So once I get to that top of descent, I'm going to pull it back and we'll start going down. Okay, here we go. Pull back in the throttle a little. Crap, I don't have it set for vertical. Okay, here we go. 1,000 foot per minute. And I want to keep 90 to 110 or whatever. So I'm going to pull the throttle back here. Actually, I think 1,000 foot's a bit much. I'm gonna go 800 foot per minute. Right? Doesn't that seem a bit much? My heading back to 167 about. Alright, let's check my checklist again here. Hold on a second, I got my map open there. Yeah, you can see right about here, that's Surprise, Arizona. So this is Surprise, Arizona that we're coming in over. Phoenix down that way mostly, and Goodyear straight out ahead. My code here. Alright, vertical speed set about 1,000 foot per minute. Maintain 80 to 110 knots. Okay, there we're set there. Mixture is full rich. Push it in. Set the barometer. Barometer is set. Goodyear ground 1217. We're gonna get that lined up. 1217. It is lined up. You can see right here. So we'll just flip over when we're on ground. We do the approach. Tune nav for the approach. We don't really have that right here. Set approach heading on OBS. 210 is going to be, well, we're gonna follow this and we're gonna hand fly it. Set the course. we don't have that because we're not doing a thing. We'll contact the tower on 120.1 when we're ready to. Oh, 1217, 1201. Okay, so that now we're a little bit different here. All right, so we'll turn off COM 2. What do we say? I'm sorry. Oh, crap. I gotta go back to my phone. My phone's doing here. Hold on. Okay, 1201 and 1217. So let me just do the standby. 1201. Let's switch this one here. Getting that there. Hold on. Yikes. Swap that over. Okay, so now we're on the tower frequency. No traffic around me here. We would call it at this point because it's, I think right off of there, that's Luke Air Force Base. And then over in front of us, or maybe this is Glendale and like Luke Air Force Base, and then straight up there is going to be Goodyear. I think it should show up on here pretty soon. But yeah, this is the Phoenix area, people. So we would at this point, approach and say 316 Hotel Papa, contact Goodyear Tower on, what did I say, 120.1. Over to 120.1, 316 Hotel Papa. Of course, we're there now, so then I'll call it Goodyear Tower. This is 316 Hotel Papa with you, 4,000 descending to 2,000, inbound for arrival runway 21. They would say 316 Hotel Papa, I think, runway 21 cleared to land, and I would say clear to land 316 Hotel Papa, or runway 21 clear to land 316 Hotel Papa. So this, yeah, look at like golf courses down there. This is a beautiful stuff. Glendale, where my garage would be technically. Maybe this is. Is that Luke Air Force Base over here? I don't know if that's Glendale or what this is. I'm not sure. I didn't see what the altitude of the airport was. I need to find that out. I think 2,000 is pretty good. Hold on here. So maintain. Oh, I'm at 100. Now it's gonna be 80 knots. And then landing and taxi. Flap set 10 degrees. 75 knots. Flaps full, maintain 60. Throttle idle at 15 feet. Okay, so so I'm in 90 knots, at least 90 knots coming down here. Maintain 90 knots. Alright, so I'm gonna pull back throttle a little bit actually. So I'm gonna maintain 90 knots. Landing and taxi lights are gonna go on right now. Taxi landing. Flap set for 10 degrees below 110 knots. And then maintain 79 at outer marker. Yeah, so that's Luke Air Force Base. That's what that is right there. And we are, where are we at right now? 2,500. We're down for 2,000. I think I got that right. I think the airfield at is 900. I'm gonna stop right here. We're gonna come right back because this recording segment's getting long. Okay, here we are coming over the area. You can see around here. Hold on, let's go to 1. There we are. That's Luke Air Force Base. We're kind of in their pattern, so we got to be careful. They would have had to clear us. I don't see. Now you can see military aircraft here. There's Glendale up ahead. But we got to watch out for military aircraft because we are doing visual spacing. All right, now we're slowing down to 80 knots. I'm supposed to maintain 80 knots, right? So I got to speed it up a little bit. There's a fighter jet in front of us, I believe, or at least a military aircraft. I'm going to put some flaps 1 on. Increase throttle. You can see there, this guy's coming around.
think we have good separation here. Yeah, that looks like a fighter jet. See it right there? He's inbound for a loop. We're keeping an eye on the traffic. Looks like the traffic comes around this way, so we have to be careful. Visual separation. I'm gonna wanna check this out here real quick. Okay, hold on here. Flaps at 10 degrees below 110, maintain 75 knots at outer marker. 75 knots. Whoa, I gotta come back here. Flaps full on short, maintain 65, and all the things like that. Okay, after landing. I gotta be careful because okay, alright, so here we go. I'm gonna set my phone down, my checklist down. Where we at with the map here? Turn the heading bug to the right a little bit. As you can see all the traffic on this list here. And this guy's turning towards us from the left. And I see him. You see him right out there? Right out there. He's coming around. He's a little bit higher than us, so that's good. I'm going to go second layer of flaps right here. That's going to slow us down a little bit. We've already been cleared to land runway 21. I'm just trying to work this out here with the traffic. This guy's coming around this way, but I think he's higher than us. We're supposed to meet out to here, and then we bank in at about a 45-degree angle, and I think I could actually see it there. Now here's that traffic. This is that guy right there, the military aircraft. So we are underneath their altitudes. We're going to be good for that. All right, I'm gonna set my hand controllers down so they're not in my way. And once I get to that point, let's see what kind of aircraft is that. That looks like a fighter. Is that an A-18 Hornet? The Hornet right above us. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And he's got to watch out for inbound. Why is this ghosting? My hand thing was ghosting there. Okay. We could turn on fine. So yeah, this is the airport that I flew into most of the time when I was down here in Arizona on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I was in and out of here. I wasn't in VR, but I was pretty well set. This was because I was saying like I lived out here on the western edge. Phoenix is out that way off the left wing. And further back there would be Red Rock Park where the B-Wolves are. It's 9:26 a.m. Where am I on that map? I'm pretty close to meeting that marker. Once I meet that, it's about a 45-degree angle turn to the right, and that's where we're going to be lining up. I'm going to hand fly it once I make that turn. As a matter of fact, turn the heading bug off now. I'm going to set it for 2-1. See, it's got a rudder. I got to do a little rudder here. Because it wants to go left, and then once I get about to that marker, get about to that marker, I could turn. In fact, I could do that right about now. I'm going to switch the heading bug on right now. It's going to turn us in. Final. Runway 21, and I could actually turn off the thing now. I'm at 75 knots. So yeah, I'm gonna turn off my autopilot. Look at the moon out there, huh? Whoa, okay, hold on. I gotta trim this thing out. And I'm gonna slow her down. I'm gonna put some more flaps down there all the way. Let me get my map off here. Well, I gotta pitch the nose down. I'm gonna have to retrim this puppy. And now I'm inbound. I'm a little askew to the left, but there you can see runway 2. And so this is a trainer airport for pilots. They do a lot of training at this airport for new pilots. I think Lufthansa has an FBO here. So they've got I was watching a thing today on a kid who's doing flight training at this school, and they go over the mountains there southwest, and they start doing some of their different training. Okay, so I'm gonna pull back the throttle a little bit to dip the nose. I think I'm trimmed pretty well at a good airspeed. I got confirmed full flapped out there. We're coming over. I think this is Highway 10. This is 10. This is where we came in from Los Angeles, on this highway right here. And we're at the western edges, so if you watch that video back, it would have just been on recently. I'm coming in from Los Angeles. I'm a little high here, so I'm going to cut back a little bit more power. Dip the nose down just a bit. I may trim it slightly. Try and keep that 500 foot per minute. You can see the poppies are white, so yeah, I'm a little high, but I'm a little fast too, so I'm pulling back on the throttle. Nice baseball fields out here. There's a nice church over there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so obviously it looks different than you're used to seeing it in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it still looks pretty good. All right, we're established on final here. Now I'm actually yoke flying it for the first time. These are my yoke and pedals. Looking pretty good right here. Sagging a little bit. I like these things. They're pretty good. I'm going to give her a little bit more fuel. Starting to dip. Once I get over the threshold, I'm going to start to pull this back. You can see some of the airliners out there. And off on the right. For the touchdown markers. Pulling back on the yoke. There we go. It's a little bumpy, but that's all right. I'm gonna say 316 Hotel Papa, exit taxiway next left. Oh, those are like a lot of those aircraft. I see FedEx and what's it called? You know, what is that? British Airways. Jeez. Okay, so I can bring my flaps up, and I want to get off the runway here. I'm gonna speed on over, but I gotta slow down somewhat. Whoa! I'm not used to using these rudder pedals, and this is where we go off. Okay, here, slowing down. That's right, I gotta push the foot towards the side you want to go to. Okay, and we're gonna pull right on up here. Look at the mountains back there in the background. And we're gonna switch on over to ground. And call them in here, but let me do a little edit here as well, okay? Over to ground at 1217. Stand by. Alright, this is where we trim up. Okay. Goodyear ground, this is November 316 Hotel Papa, request taxi for parking. You come back and say, November 316 Hotel Papa, taxi via Alpha 5. Taxi parking via Alpha 5, 316 Hotel Papa. Take my parking brake off. Give a little bit more gas here.
I can start to shut off. I never turned my fuel pump on. I was supposed to have my fuel pump on. Turn my landing light off. I could turn my, what is it? I turned my nav lights off here. Yeah, so you can see how different this looks than it did in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Flight Simulator 2020, obviously much more realistic. I mean, it looks more like real life, obviously, but this looks really good and really, really indicative of this airport. The taxiing is something I'm not perfect on. So, see, hey, look at this. We got aircraft coming in on final. So we do have traffic coming in. I just didn't see any. And this is FedEx over here. I know, yeah, in real life it's Lufthansa, but here we got a guy doing, I don't know if he's doing touch and goes or if he's coming full in another airport. Then again, like the traffic that's built on this, there's some aircraft doing touch and goes and some are, on a full trip. That's a 172 as well. Alpha 5 should be right here. There's a Continental aircraft there, but yes, this is definitely, this is the thing where in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, the airport looks more like it does in real life, except here this actually reflects that it's an airliner training school primarily, and it's super busy. And this is Alpha 5, I assume. We're going to go over here and park with general aviation parking. Oh, this one, and you can see some other aircraft in the sky. It's pretty cool. We'll see what we missed. I'll go to the checklist after I park. So we can see kind of what we were doing here. I'm going to pull into this spot right here. This is going to be our spot between the Piper there and the 172. Ooh, we're close to the wing there, but I think we're good. We're a little close to that guy, but I think we're good. All right, so I gotta throw my parking brake on. Okay, so now let's get the checklist out here, see what we're missing, see what we're supposed to do. It is 9:36 a.m. Hold on a second, I'm bringing up my checklist. Okay, parking brake is on, the landing lights are off, the strobe lights. Alright, we gotta turn the strobe lights off, taxi lights off. Fuel pump is off, it was never on. Retract the flaps. What is that there? My beacon is off. Okay, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Taxi lights, fuel pump, retract flaps. Mixture slight lean. Transponder standby. Transponder on standby. So this, I don't think I got this. This is for 6.5 miles. I think that's Phoenix. I think this is standby. Okay, contact ground. I already did that. Ground over taxi. If I ever check the taxi route, I did that. Parking and shut down. Parking brake set. Check. Taxi lights are off. Check. Mixture full lean. This is where we pull it out and choke the engine. There we go. She stops. Magneto's off. The elapsed timer should be off, which I think is this thing, right? Well, wait, do we have an elapsed timer? Or is that down here somewhere? There's an elapsed timer that shows like your engine timing and stuff. I don't think that's modeled. Oops, oh crap. Now I gotta bring, I'm sorry, I don't have my Face ID, so I gotta enter this into my phone because I have this on my phone. Okay, magneto's off, beacon light is off, pitot heat, I never turned it on. Avionics stack, we're gonna turn that off. There we go. Avionic master off, master battery off. There we go. And that's it. That's it. That's the flight in the Cessna 172. So yeah, glad. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to see how close we are to that guy as we step outside here. Hold on. Oh, look at that. That is nice. We got the highway patrol set up.
Look at that. I actually parked that very well. Of course, that's not supposed to be her in there. Okay, so we're standing up. So if I stand up here, this is basically standing, and I could. This is the cool thing is I could kind of look around and all this stuff. But yeah, so here we are at Goodyear, Arizona. Thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for flying down here with us. Get back to us. We're going to be out at Red Rock Park here to face the P-Wolves, and then we're up in Canada. But I'm going to try to do some more flying. I really appreciate having a blast. I love this wheel and pedals. Talk to you soon. Bye now.